Seth Painter here with the Panagora Pharma Customer Experience Chatcast. Panagora known primarily for its live events, talking with all your favorite pharma folks about all things CX. Joining us is Charlie Flax from Propeller. Charlie, say hi.
Hello. Very happy to talk to you.
Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Great. I'm Charlie Flax. I am the founder and president of Propeller. We are a digitally focused entirely healthcare agency focused in HCP with a big focus these days in omnichannel with the combination of personal and non-personal promotion and how they come together.
We'll talk about that in just a second. I always like to start off these convos with a basic question, which is, what does CX mean to you, Charlie?
Yeah. So customer experience, I think, especially these days, is at the core of everything we should be doing in healthcare marketing. It's really just it's again the combination of what you're getting from a brand or a product, but then that journey that brand or product is taking you on, and that can be true for a patient, and especially true for any sort of HCP or anyone in that office or hospital environment.
So take that a little bit further as we're thinking about the HCP experience.
Mhm.
What is important with the HCP experience, especially here in 2021 when we are on almost day 365 of the pandemic?
Yeah, well, it's more important than ever, and it's obviously changed. It's evolved, right? And the most important part of it is, and what we learned during the pandemic is we learned to listen. We learned to listen a lot more, both as agencies and brand marketers and digital marketers. We had to learn to listen. We had to understand that we're not as in control of where we are hitting our HCPs like we were before. We're not in control of it is in an office environment. It's in a hospital environment. We know they're going to these sites or these properties after hours because they're in an office all day. It's all changed. It's all different. They're searching the web during the day. They're going, endemic and non-endemic during the day. They're going at night. Calls, personal promotion, sales calls are happening at times they would never happen. So we have to recognize that we are not in control and we don't decide anymore when we're talking to them. It actually has become a lot more equitable.
Have we ever been in control?
We thought we were because we talked to HCPs like we were in control.
Yeah, I think that fundamentally that might be a big difference in the mindset between the way it is now and the way it used to be, even though if anyone was ever asked 2, 3 years ago, we would have said the same thing. Oh, no, the customer comes first, but in reality, not the
No,
case.
we evaluated all our metrics were on, how many times did we talk to them, not how many times did they talk to us. We're changing the way we think about metrics. We're changing about how we try to talk to them. We're changing about the content we try to talk to HCPs about. We recognize we're starting to see the value in the curation of content and really creating engagement as opposed to just, again, ensuring that message we just spit out those claims. It's changing, and that's true for in a personal environment as well as in a non-personal environment. We want to create more longer lasting engagement and a better experience that in the long run might be self-serving, but will not feel self-serving in the short term.
Gotcha. So when you talked about omnichannel, what kind of components go into omnichannel? I mean, it's an all-encompassing word, but with the HCP, what do you think might be the most important in terms of their omni experience?
Yeah, so I think the biggest watch out with omnichannel is not making it omni, right? Like,
Wait, what?
Totally. You need to make sure that you're not taking an approach where it's like, oh, I'm going to drown you in information. I'm going to drown you in touches. And that's an omnichannel experience. It's the ability to understand that what data you have and how you can use your data to actually provide custom experiences through the leveraging of all these different channels, the optimization of content for that channel, and also recognizing and starting to build true personas of each customer and recognize what matters to them, where are they on the journey, and what kind of content resonates with them. And the integration and omnichannel is just not this right alternate channel or non-personal vehicle, right? You have to blend in personal promotion with it, and by doing that and using the data and using the flexibility of non-personal promotion, you can provide a custom experience instead of a one-size-fits-all.
So we take it and we make it non-omnichannel via personalization.
It is always omni-channel, but we're making non-personal promotion more personal.
And so what you're saying is we don't need Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Clubhouse, but instead we look at the individual HCP and figure out what works and figure out what they respond to.
We can leverage all the channels. It's just, does each HCP have to be flooded on every channel? That's the difference, right? So it's their experience. Again, when we say we keep going back to this lens of us. We matter. We don't matter. We have to create a unique and personal experience for each of our customers. And you might end up as an aggregate leveraging all channels, but that won't be the experience the individual HCP gets. They need to get a custom experience.
So if the HCP has the choice, can they turn off all the channels?
Yeah, they totally can turn off all the channels, but that's a lot of channels. That's a lot of lack of information on ESPN.com or or CNN.com or whatever.
No, it's very true, and I think that there are some individuals out there that would feel that way, saying like, I'm fine without your help, Pharma. Sure. But when it comes down to it, they would probably either miss or need, the HCP experience that Pharma offers.
But for those, and that's fair, there's a segment out there, but then that's where you have to change your content curation. So they don't want to necessarily be talked at, but you can see that they're leveraging that more unbranded or that more curated content that benefits them. It's yes, you're not getting necessarily that brand impression where you're hitting them straight with the message that you want to hit them with, but you're getting value in the sense that they're understanding your greater message, your disease state message, or the big idea you're trying to get to. It might take longer to get them where you want to get them, but they might be more receptive to that.
And there's 1 million doctors in the United States, so it doesn't make sense to have one person individually responsible for each HCP. You would obviously need then 1 million employees. But what are some ways we talk about leveraging the data? You talk about curation. What are some of those ways that we can do that now to create an effective experience? Is there any type of tool or channel that lends itself better to that?
I mean, there are a lot of great tools, and depending on the marketing partner you have, right, depending on the level of their advanced analytics, you can go AI, you can go completely automated and go that route. But then we're also seeing some success if we take smaller segments and we're targeting much smaller segments. You can actually do a version of omnichannel that is almost manual, where you're understanding their habits, you're pulling from the data, and if your segment's small enough, but that small segment, will make such an impact, because it will. I mean, for a lot of products, you don't need to change the hearts and minds of a lot of HCPs to make a giant impact.
So everything that you're saying here, Charlie, is actually the reverse of the way things are perceived to be going, right? You want omnichannel, but not omnichannel. You're saying we want AI and get complete automation, but then more impact can be felt with a smaller, more manually curated, set of HCPs.
Well, here's the thing with the AI and advanced analytics. You can do the same thing. You can take that small set of HCPs. Not everyone has that available. And
Gotcha.
that's the big thing. So in a perfect world, we are automated and we are targeting small segments. You take the big data and you have these micro impacts, but you have a lot of them.
But I want everybody.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, right? That's the problem. You want everybody. But we can still get a lot. We just get them in smaller doses that are resonate or are relevant to them. And that's the problem. We can't assume everything we have to say is relevant to everybody.
Maybe it's like golf where a lower number is actually better. and we're trained to think that the higher numbers are always better. Speaking of everybody, Charlie, what have you seen in the secular world, in the outside world of pharma, that sort of plays towards your themes of omnichannel and personalization with regards to your experiences in the retail space, in the consumer space, and wherever? What have you seen?
Well, I mean, the integration, right, of programmatic and the use of, I mean, really, it's the omnichannel environment in sporting goods, in outdoor equipment, in all of these things. You're seeing it. I mean, we're all experiencing it when we go on to Facebook, after we just searched something, or Instagram after we just searched something, and we're being served up all this content. It's the same idea. They built a digital persona that has taken a little longer to integrate in the HCP pharma world, but that is where we're going. We're taking your digital persona, but instead of maybe, feeding a different type of product, we're saying, you're more interested in this element of the disease, and we're feeding that type of content.
Gotcha. So I do see the way that you break that up with you're selling kayaks to people that may be interested in kayaks. You're selling elements of a particular disease state to those folks that may be interested in those elements,
Yeah.
and that's a cue for better curation and hence better engagement and hence better HCP experience.
Yeah.
So the Panagora 8th annual Customer Experience Summit is coming up here at the end of March. Will we be seeing you at the show?
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. I will be on a panel, I believe.
Yes, talking about HCP experience. So we look forward to you elaborating on the ideas that you shared today and also interacting with some of the KOLs in the pharma space about those topics. Charlie, thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, cheers.